Yo, 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 what's that word? 32-minute podcast, episode 43. Episode 43. Got a nice catalog at this point. Y'all, how y'all doing tonight?
Good. How you?
Good.
Doing good as well. Two topics tonight. But we're kind of testing out a little thing, see if, if we limit the topics a little bit, the more we get to talk about of those topics. So we're gonna spend a healthy amount of time on these two topics, and I know y'all gonna enjoy what we got coming up. So this will be dropping March the 2nd. Go check us out tomorrow. Go check out all our other videos and all the other videos on the channel. Without further ado, we're gonna get right into it. So first, I wanted to talk a little bit about the NFL Combine. Of course, I want to get to the surprises and the good parts, but before that, I think we should switch it up a little bit. How about we do the disappointments first?
All right.
So we can go ahead.
I said I was in the middle of bringing mine up.
Yeah. So
but yeah, however we want to do it.
I was gonna say how we gonna do it is we'll each give one. We got three each. We'll each give one. And then we'll just rotate it. So if you want to go first, Chalil, you can go first.
All right. My first disappointment, I would say, is Austin Booker. He a DN linebacker out of Kansas. He's 6'5", 240. There was a couple games where he was playing BYU in Illinois. He looked fast on the field and everything. Just to give you a little breakdown of why he's a little bit of a disappointment. He ran a 4.7 940, which was, I believe, one of the top lowest ones among the linebackers. What else we have? And they expected like his lack of size for the position to be made up with speed. On top of that, he had a 32.5 inch, which it's not bad, but for his size, it wasn't really anything special. And that's what I have for him for right now.
Is he DN or a linebacker?
They had him as both when I seen him, but I know he probably plays like linebacker off the edge, stuff like that.
Did he play versus OU this year? Oklahoma?
Let me see. I don't know. I know when I looked him up, there was a couple big name schools that he had like good games against, like Illinois and BYU.
Yeah, for sure.
I bet. My pick as a disappointment was Jatavion Sanders, tight end out of Texas. He had a pretty decent year. Better year in 2022. 99 receptions, 1,200 yards, almost 1,300. In his combine, was middle of the pack in his 40 time. Not really great hips, and a lot of the drills. Looked very like clumpish, as he was like very clumsy, if you would say, in running a lot of it, like in and out of his cuts. But overall, could be a great pickup. A lot of his blocking, he had really good hands. Blocking skills wise, I mean, you go to Texas, you got to know how to block. That run game crazy. And that was my pick for disappointment.
Especially with them transitioning to the SEC. But that's surprising here about Jatavion Sanders. He was one of, if not my favorite tight end in this draft besides, my boy Jaheim Bell. But yeah, that's surprising to hear. Hopefully he's one of those players where, I mean, he didn't have much production in college, but I always thought it was because he was in like a loaded offense. So he was kind of like secondary, and I thought, when he gets to the league, maybe he'll be more of a focus. Hopefully he gets to like he has a good tight end coach, and he can reach more of his potential in the league, because I know he was damn near a 5-star player at a tight end in high school.
Yeah.
So,
hey, one thing is for sure, if you can block, you're gonna be on that field.
Yeah, but it don't seem like he did that. But
it's explosiveness, man.
Yeah, my first disappointment, I'm just come out and said, y'all gonna notice a common theme in my surprises and disappointments. Some people probably say it's biased. I really don't care because the numbers are going to show that it's not biased. So my first disappointment is Leonard Taylor III, D tackle from Miami. He was
Okay.
6'4", some stats for y'all. He's 6'4", 303 pounds, 79 inch wingspan, 30-inch vertical, 30. I'll continue on. 9.1-inch broad jump, which is the lowest at his position. And I'm not sure if he participated in the bench press or not, but I do think that his broad jump is the lowest at defensive tackle. I like to highlight Leonard Taylor was a 5-star player coming out of high school from Miami Palmetto. So the ranking system, when you're the top 32 is like the NFL draft. You're going to get ranked 5 stars because they think you have the potential to go in the first round of the NFL draft. So to have some of the lowest numbers at your position shows a lack of development. I think it's going to show with really most of my disappointments in the particular school they chose to attend. And again, y'all can call it biased. People, y'all watch it, y'all call it biased if you want, but the numbers were disappointing. So we go into yours, Khalil.
All right. My next one is not really based off of their combine performance on why it was kind of a disappointment. It was just kind of a disappointment for me. It was Nate Wiggins. We kind of talked about already what happened with him. He came out the gate running a 4.28 40, which was the fastest among cornerbacks. He didn't get a chance to go try and run it again because of that hip flexor injury. And then, I feel like him being one of the top cornerback prospects, we all just kind of, wish that didn't happen so we could have seen a little bit more out of him.
I think, Nate Wiggins, I still think I think he's in a battle with somebody I'm going to mention later on for who I think should go tops in the draft at that position. But he was extremely sticky in coverage at Clemson, and he always seemed to be there and good in run support. So hopefully, with him not maybe being able to test in other things, I know he's still going to go top half of the first round, if not back half. So, that's
still
Yeah,
yeah.
he should be ready for the pro day. They said
they
he
still
should be
got
ready
pro
for their
days
pro day,
He
so he
measured
should
in.
be definitely still good.
He was definitely over. He had to be over 6 foot plus when he measured in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I
but
think they
yeah,
he
said almost
definitely got the
6'1".
tools. Yeah, definitely got the tools to be something big in the league. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, most definitely covers great ground. Got great ball zone skills. Like he
Yeah.
ain't necessarily gonna get the pick all the time, but when that ball's coming for the impact of catching that catch radius, he's
yeah,
there 8 out
Yeah.
of the 10.
yeah. I got to be honest. He locked, even though Keon Coleman caught the game winning touchdown in overtime. He definitely locked up Keon for the majority of that game. I think Keon. I ain't even trying to be disrespectful, but he probably had anywhere from 20 to 30 yards, and I expect Keon to go in the first round. So, hopefully he get right
Hey,
in on his pro day. I know he's gonna shine at his pro day, so hopefully it ain't too serious. But
yeah, it's all about the moments, man. All about the moments.
Sure.
I would say my second disappointment was a senior out of TCU, Josh Newman. Ran a somewhat decent, I guess you could say, but compared to his peers, terrible 40 as a 4.51. Split was pretty decent though. His at a 110, I mean a 1.5. His vertical at 34 inch. Broad jump only a 10.4. Cone speed 20 yards shuttle was only a 4.1. I mean, come on, dude. You gotta get them hips right and gotta get faster.
yeah. I remember him because one, he went on a lot of recruiting visits. Did he go on a lot of recruiting? I think his visit might have got canceled because he ended up going to TCU. But I remember him for his game against Travis Hunter.
Okay.
it wasn't a good game. Travis Hunter, he's not a receiver or a cornerback. He's both. But he, was number one athlete, number one player in the 2022 class. So he's not going against, somebody who's a slouch athletically. And obviously, I think Travis Hunter is going to test off the charts next year at the combine. So, he did get surprisingly dominated though.
Yeah.
And TCU had
when you're up against your
what
happened?
I said TCU had a terrible defense, but it wasn't all his fault though. So
yeah.
But I think
I was
he
going to say,
definitely took
when you
a
go against your peers, that's you can tell the difference.
My second guy was James Williams. I think he could be James Williams third, but let's just go with James Williams. Safety from Miami. And I just like to clarify that in the Shrine Bowl, in the Shrine Bowl or Senior Bowl, he was at safety. He was getting cooked. Then they transitioned him. He said, let me just try out at linebacker. So his numbers do look a little better at linebacker than they would at safety. And I'm glad he made that switch because it was looking bad. So he ended up measuring at 6'4", 230 pounds. He bulked up to play linebacker, obviously. 79 and 5/8-inch wingspan. 30-inch vertical. 30. A 9.9 broad jump. That's impressive. And a 4.67 40-yard dash. I didn't mention Leonard Taylor's 40-yard dash. It was a 5.12, which is offensive line-ish. So yeah, James Williams, 4.67 40-yard dash, which if he was at safety, that would have been the slowest. Also like to mention that he ran last amongst the DBs. So they the slowest time of the day here. So just all around linebacker, okay numbers, but he didn't play it in college, so it's going to be interesting trying to play it in the league. But again, he was another 5-star prospect for the Miami Hurricanes. So
that's 2 Hurricanes.
All around, in college, he didn't live up to potential. Combine has been bad. Hopefully, he changes positions and he does well, improves his instincts in the league. But I got James Williams second.
Okay.
All right. My third one, Aaron Casey, linebacker out of Indiana. He's not really a big name in the combine. And we don't even know what round or if he would be drafted. But it's just, you get the invite to the combine. I feel like you need to bring your A game. You can be nervous and all that stuff, but once the lights come on and all that stuff, if you're there to prove yourself. So just to go off a little bit, he ran a 4.75 40, which was the second slowest among linebackers. He had a 30-inch vertical, which was the lowest vertical among linebackers. And then he also had the least amount of bench reps, which was 16. Which, like I said,
16.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, bro ain't trained.
Which, like I said, you get invited to the combine, you're there to prove a point, make a bigger name for yourself, and I just feel like he didn't live up to trying to get himself up in the rankings of the draft and stuff.
16 is crazy.
Draft stock went down.
Yeah. What school did he go to?
Indiana. Which is not it's all right.
Somewhat school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy for us to say, but like Indiana is like top Big Ten, I believe. Yeah, Big Ten. So that's top of the top D1.
Yeah.
Like if you really think about it, all us being former athletes in recruiting terms, like getting an offer from D1, you the best player at your school. So because there's people don't think about it. They'll think, Illinois is in Indiana, like that's a small school, but like if anybody who's ever played any sports knows that's top of the line D1. There's like 5 or 6 levels like below that in general.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, D1 for sure, but I'm just, as far as football, going to Indiana, but as far as D1 you make a football, that's an accomplishment in itself. So
yeah.
Facts. Facts. My third and final guy as a disappointment, being another senior. You should be very thorough and well knowledge of what you've been about to do in this combine, and saying go here to just show out. And I feel like Nelson Caesar, he didn't do a great job out of Houston. He's a pretty decent size at 6'3", 250, 254. I ain't gonna weigh his size like that. But as being edge rusher and saying wanting to be a part of these top names like Garrett Wilson, um, uh, Garrett, Bosa, and all these guys. He didn't run the 40, so we don't know how fast he is. Didn't get his splits, anything like that. You're not jumping, dude. You got a 30-inch vertical, 30 no, at all. Your speed for the cone times were bad, and shuttle times were pretty bad. And you only did decently 22 reps on the bench. But we're not running that 40 time. Or I mean, I know it doesn't always tell everything, but I mean, you're an edge rusher. I want to see what that speed is.
I feel you on that. Yeah, shouldn't be a surprise if again I say there's gonna be a pattern. Who my third disappointment is another Miami Hurricane player, Cam Kitchens, who was a sophomore All-American. I give Cam his credit. Sophomore All-American. His measurables: 5'11", 203 pounds, 75-inch wingspan, which was, I haven't looked it up, but I believe that's one of the lowest at his position, if not the lowest. 35-inch vertical, which is pretty decent. 9'2" broad jump. 4.65 40-yard dash time. I do believe that Cam Kitchens was the safety that gave up the long pass against Georgia Tech for them to have that miracle comeback in the last minute of the game. And it showed in his 40 time, he probably wasn't able to keep up with that dude. His broad jump in his 40 time ranked the lowest at the safety at the combine. Cam Kitchen, he wasn't a 5-star player, he was a top 100 player. Again, a sophomore All-American. So he has the accolades and a lot of things to him, but I'm not sure how his athleticism transfers to the NFL level. And he did show poor instincts on film a lot of times this year. So I would say all these Miami Hurricanes stock has dropped. I wouldn't expect any of them to go in the first round. And I do take a certain amount of delight in that, even though I want people to win. I am a diehard Noles, so it shouldn't be a surprise who my surprises are because one school definitely showed out. I'll put it like that. But you can go first, Chalil, as far as your surprise. Surprise.
Well, we might be on the same page, but first one I'm gonna go with Braden Fisk out of FSU, D tackle. Just a couple stat lines from today: 4.78 40 time, 33.5-inch vert, 9'9" broad jump. All these ranked first among D tackles. And he also showed during the football workouts that that his athleticism translated to just the football workouts. And then he's projected as a day 2 draft pick, I think. But I think with today's workout, he might have made a case to go, probably late first round or something like that.
Okay. My surprise guy first is Kalen Bullock, a nice safety out of USC. Big size, great hands, 9 picks on the season.
9 picks?
Well, yeah. No, my fault. Not 9 picks on the season. 9 picks on his career. My fault.
Oh, okay.
My fault. I wish he had 9 picks on the season. USC fan. I'm trying to hype my guy up. Nah, man. Great ball hawking skills. Great single high safety. He can play single high safety. Possible guy like you can even move to DB if you need to. He has great hips, great turnaround great backup to turnaround speed, to keep up with these like fast receivers now out here. He ran a 4.5 40, pretty decent as a cornerback. You gotta see how that translates to running backwards, but yeah, that's my first guy.
Hey man, 4.5. Hey, well, might have to play linebacker, but
Jeez.
we did agree, me and Chalil, on Braden Fisk. Like you said, all his numbers were tops. 31. No, my bad. 26 reps on the bench press. I can add to what Khalil was saying. Measured in at 6'3", 5'8" inches, 292 pounds. Honestly, I didn't expect him to be that athletic when he transferred in from Western Michigan last year, and he spent his final senior season at Florida State. But obviously, training rooms are a little different between those two. So not much to be said, but I do think, like Khalil said, he raised the stock a lot, and I could definitely see him going in the first round as the first or at least the top 3 defensive tackle off the board. So, yeah.
Okay.
Next one, Chop Robinson, D-end out of Penn State. Even though he had the lowest wingspan and arm length they've measured since 2016, he ran a 4.4840. He had a 10-foot 8-inch broad jump, a 34.5-inch vertical. Things with that, with the broad jump in the 40. I think it was since 2000, which the last person was Vernon Davis. That's the first time that someone over 250 pounds ran under a 4.5 and had over a 10 feet 5-inch broad jump.
That's crazy. Real crazy.
Vernon Davis is a freak.
Big time. Yeah, his body size is like ridiculous too. That boy built like I remember Johnny Bravo. Back in the day. That boy built like that. My second guy, Byron Murphy the second, D tackle out of Texas. Not so tall. He's only measured in at 6'1". Pretty huge though. I mean, almost 300 pounds, 397.
400.
Ran a really ran a great 40 to be that huge at a 4.87. Great split at a 1.16. Vert not too crazy. Only a 33-inch vertical. Pretty decent broad jump for a big. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For a big boy, his broad jump was a 9.3.
Yeah,
so that's pretty decent. And he's pretty strong in this way. He had 28 reps on the bench. So I mean, I think he was going. And just seeing him in those bag drills and actually moving, he has great movement, great hips, great hand work, hand placement, and getting in and out of his drills. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
I can see him as a pretty decent starter.
Yeah, I especially at that weight, he already got like the anchor ability of that nose. I definitely could see him in the top. I expect him in the top 3 rounds of the draft. And he was impressive. I think he caught a couple touchdowns on offense this year for Texas as well. So,
that's crazy.
Shows his athleticism.
Yeah, he got some hands.
Yeah, my second guy won't be doing that in NFL though. But my second guy is Jared Burks, 6'3", 7'8" inches tall, 254 pounds, 79.5-inch wingspan, 35-inch vert, 10.9 broad jump, did 31 reps on the bench, and ran an official 4.58 40-yard dash. So if anybody watched any Jared Verse highlights, you know he was an athletic freak this year, and he did a lot of good things on the field. And so just to speed it up a little bit, he had a great combine.
All right, and then I'll go ahead. Next one, Tyler Owens out of Texas Tech, safety. He was first in vertical jumps among safeties, and 4th best among any prospect with a 41-inch vert. And then he had the second best broad jump ever at 12 feet 2 inches, just to keep it short.
Anytime you hear ever, that's a good thing. Like when it's ever.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, that's gonna put you in some upper echelon for sure for that draft. My second guy, Peyton Wilson, great linebacker out of NC State. 6'1", 6'4", pretty huge guy. Ran a great 40 time at 4.43, moving. Nice 34 inch vertical. Nice broad jump at 9'11". Just overall great movement. And he has a great eye for finding the ball.
Sure. My final guy was Jerry Jones, 5'11", 190 pounds, 73-inch wingspan, 39.5-inch vert, 10.9 broad jump, and 4.38 40-yard dash. Of course, all my guys went to Florida State, and they showed out at the combine. If you're a recruit and you're not going to Florida State, what are you doing? Like Jalen Ramsey said. But moving on from that, we had who would you build a team around? So the people that were the options were Jayson Tatum, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, and Shai Gilgious-Alexander. So in the time we have remaining, who did y'all pick and why out of those four?
I would go with Shai Gilgious-Alexander. Just because looking at his stats like per year, everything has progressively improved. He's always his wingspan and his how lanky he is. He's always been a great defender. And if I feel like I'm leading the team, I'd want there to be that captain or that team person that's always defense first, or always gonna. I feel like Shai will be able to get the buckets, but also guard the team's best guard at the same time. And just to go into that, giving more stuff after you guys go ahead.
Me personally, I'm big on making the team better, and if you can do that, I'm all for it. So I pick Luka Doncic as the guy that I would start my team with. He's a great scorer first and foremost. I mean, he's been a pro since young, and he just makes the right play every single time.
This one was hard for me between Luka, but I ended up going with Jayson Tatum. I value things like
Duke.
I value things like athleticism and also the clutch gene, like what you do under pressure. To me, when I looked at these guys, it was undeniable who's had the most playoff success. Four Eastern Conference Finals, it would have been 5, but they flopped against Miami. One NBA Finals appearance, which he didn't play great in, but he did have a shoulder injury, but that's no excuse. The Celtics were favored in that series, so I'm not going to give him that pass, but he's got to an NBA Finals at a young age at 25. Again, extremely athletic. I would say the second most athletic behind Ant on this list. Second most skilled behind Luka on this list.
Sure.
And he's already had a lot of great success, and he has a great coaching staff around him. And he's the biggest, 6'8", 210 pounds. I mean, as a prospect, I'll let y'all go. I'll let y'all go.
Nah, definitely like both of
just,
those picks from y'all.
I don't think there's a bad pick. I think it's more of just preference.
Definitely.
Facts.
Like you say, because with each of our picks, you get different things from each of them three, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, with all of them, you're going to get scored for sure.
Yeah. I feel like with Shai, I want to see what he does in the playoffs because his game is so fixated on like the mid-range area of the floor. Even though he got the handles, he has the physical size for the position, and he has shown like great year-over-year improvement each year. Good first step. I'm not sure how he is as an athlete, but great first step. And he definitely knows how to. He reminds me of Dwayne Wade as far as body control. He can finish extremely well, get to the free throw line, shoot the three. Like you said, there's nothing bad you can say about any of these two.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like I said, the only thing, because like I said, they came between Shai and Luka for me. Only difference between Shai and Luka was really just the defensive end. I feel like Luka lacks sometimes, just defensively. But I mean, when you got to carry the load on offense, that's when you got to take your breaks. So
that's the weird thing about Luka for me though, because I was like, it was between him and Tatum for me, but Luka, it came down to the defensive end, but it also was like this little narrative that's coming out that Luka is a ball hog. And I'm like, I wonder where that's coming from, because the Mavericks have done a good job of like trying to surround them with like star players on that end. And it seems like just like in Houston, when they kept getting star players and they just kept getting traded away because they couldn't make it work with James, it seemed like the same thing is starting to happen with Luka. And they kind of play the same. He kind of plays like Houston James Harden, which is again an MVP caliber, top 3 player in the league, top 75 player of all time level. But can you win a championship with him? Like, that's the only question. So
yeah, that's one thing about James Harden in that era. He just couldn't work with a superstar. He couldn't gel.
Yeah. So I wonder.
Not Kyrie different. So we'll see.
Okay, Luka. Yeah, I again, I went with Tatum just because I felt like he had the fewest question marks and he's answered the most questions at this point. And I still think that he has upside, because in the playoffs, I mean, I got to be honest, like, I haven't seen him take the step that I necessarily want to see at this point, except for his rookie year. Like, he definitely was hooping against LeBron. That's another reason why I picked him as well. Like, he's been successful since.
You see me?
Yeah. Man, yammed on LeBron. I had to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he had my respect since then from when that happened.
Fact.
It was hard going against.
But I mean, I'm a Duke guy, so he's always been there for me.
It was hard picking against someone like Ant, though. Like Ant.
Yeah,
insane.
He's one of my favorite players now.
Out of all of them, he got that dog. Out of all them players,
yeah, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
he'll
probably got the most dog. To be honest.
Yeah.
And
he had my favorite player since Melo, so I'm still trying to pick. And that boy definitely.
He'll definitely give you a double-double with rebounds or assists.
After LeBron, it's already in. Because the Timberwolves my team. They've been since Zach LaVine, Wiggs, and Ian Cat was there, even though Cat's still there,
Yeah.
And then clearly took over the number 1 franchise player position from Cat at this point, even though, Cat just went for 60. And they clearly building around him at this point. And I think they got a good squad. And I like that little budding rivalry he got with Shai. I want to see how that plays off, like in a playoff round and things of that nature. And that'll be real fun, because we could be talking about a finals preview for these teams. If, say, I don't think the Thunder gonna make it, but say like the Thunder or the Timberwolves make it to the finals, and then on the other side, Boston will make it, because I think ain't nobody.
That'll be tough.
East, but
that'll be tough. Ant versus Tatum playoff? That would be tough.
Yeah.
That'd be a good playoff since the Celtics versus the Heat back in the day.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. There's definitely about to be a competitive playoffs once it comes. One of the most, I probably think,